Chances are your shiny new car was produced in a place like this. This is Ford's Rouge assembly plant in Dearborne, Michigan, one of 21 Ford assembly plants in this country.
The sheer size of a plant like this is overwhelming, especially to a Miami native who has seen very little industry. There are 1,200 acres of auto production facilities here. In fact, this is the only plant on the North American continent where nearly the entire auto production procedure is accomplished in the same location. Ford even produces much of its own steel at the Rouge plant, 3 million tons of steel bars a year. Today, the plant makes 1979 Ford Mustangs and Mercury Capris, but history long ago made its mark at the Rouge plant, which built Henry Ford's revolutionary Model T. The assembly line now moves at the rate of 68 cars an hour, 16 hours a day. In 2 work shifts, the plant produces nearly 1,100 cars. The 79 Mustang and Capri are totally different from their 78 counterparts, new from the ground up. But there were some predictable problems because of that, simply because line workers weren't familiar with the car.
We start off the car much slower than what we would be doing with a model that's carryover from one year to the next. In other words, the first day of our production, we were producing somewhere around 10 to 12 jobs an hour coming off the end of our final line and going through all the other systems. And each day, we add a little bit to that until we accomplish our full line speed, which is 68 jobs per hour.
Once the bugs are ironed out, the work becomes quite routine, even monotonous by most standards. The line never stops. Workers perform their individual tasks in a matter of moments while the car is moving. Dozens of sub-assembly lines all seem to get to the right place at the right time, matching the proper options and parts to specific cars. It's all done by computer, along with readout sheets, which are part of what is called a broadcast system. Ford says the concept is extremely simple.
The coding itself is so developed so that an item that's going to be applied to a car always appears in a certain block, and then all we have to do is train an operator to read into that particular block, and he says, okay, if I read this numeric number and that particular point, it's a red car, or this numeric number, it's a green car or a blue car or whatever, and he picks that particular item and applies it to the car.
Ford, of course, says it aims to produce cars with no defects, a worthy goal perhaps, but one nearly impossible to attain. Tomorrow night, we'll look at quality control in the assembly plant, at why defects do occur, and at how Ford tries to repair the problem cars before they leave the factory. Bob Mayer, Channel 4 News at Ford's Rouge assembly plant in Dearborne, Michigan.